Throughout the world, more and more Muslims are leaving the Islamic faith. There's evidence to suggest that even in traditionally Muslim-majority countries, the faithful are abandoning their religion. It's a huge point of concern for Muslim leaders. In fact, even in countries like Iran, where Muslims supposedly comprise about 99% of the population, evidence indicates that the actual number may be closer to 50%. Many people seem to be leaving the faith but keeping their deconversion a secret because, under strict Islamic law, anyone who commits apostasy can be killed for it, and encouraging anyone else to do so is strictly forbidden. It's called spreading corruption in the land, which is a capital crime. For some reason, many Muslims around the world are turning to Christianity. There are innumerable reports of Muslims dreaming of Jesus. Now, I don't know what this means. I don't know what they think they're seeing, but it's convicting enough to cause them to leave Islam for uncharted spiritual waters. Unfortunately, many others are leaving Islam for atheism. But this mass exodus has gotten the attention of some high-profile Muslim apologists.
People are ready to give a charity when it comes to serving the poor, when it comes to building a masjid, drilling a well. But equally important is to defend the ummah. People are losing their faith very, very fast.
And if we don't take constructive steps to deal with this, it is going to become an avalanche, a tsunami that is going to hit our community in such a way that we will have a very difficult time standing. It will knock us over.
This is how some of our youth feel. Researchers show that over 100,000 Muslims leave Islam every single year. Our youth are full of doubts.
A number of young boys and girls, aged between 13 to 18, who have openly declared their apostasy to me. And I'm talking within the hundreds. Okay? However, at the same time, they have also declared to me that they are Hufad, they are Hafiz of the Quran. They are leading prayers at the masjid. They are engaged in madrasa, education. Okay? And they are still leading that life, while simultaneously declaring their apostasy.
For Muslims, this is serious. They do not take this lightly. One popular Muslim apologist and YouTuber named Ali Dawa has something to say to those who leave Islam.
This is a part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah? There's a reason why there's a capital punishment. Because people like you, little weaklings, who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt. And we're proud of that. Yeah? Not individuals going and doing it themselves like idiots. Yeah? No. Under an emir, it is done. Yes. And we, you know what? We'll be watching.
Capital punishment is used against apostates in Islam. This has been the case historically and continues into the modern world. But I want you to notice something very important that Ali Dawa said in his video. Apostates are not to be killed through mob violence. It is to be carried out by the proper authorities. So when you hear of Muslims denouncing the killing of Christians or Hindus or Buddhists or some other religious group, pay close attention to how the person was killed and by whom. More often than not, the person died as a result of street justice carried out by zealots. So if a spokesperson denounces the killing, it wouldn't be because of the result, but because of the means. Capital punishment for apostasy is perfectly permissible as long as it's carried out by properly designated executioners. In several countries today, Muslims who turn away from Islam might not be executed, but they can be imprisoned, have their marriages annulled, or lose custody of their children. And this is where we get to our point. We have to recognize just how easy it is for someone in the West to become a Christian. Honestly, it's not a huge investment. We already live in what has been called a Christ-haunted culture. We see it most clearly every Christmas and Easter. You can see pictures of Jesus on the covers of magazines. You can watch videos or documentaries about him on various channels. Even non-believers are relatively familiar with the stories of his birth, death, and resurrection. Now, we live in a society where the Bible is still found in most homes and where the figures of God and his Son loom large over our culture. Comparatively speaking, becoming a Christian isn't all that difficult. It might meet with the disapproval of our family or friends if they come from a different spiritual background or a non-religious background, but there's virtually zero chance that we're going to be killed for it. But what about our Muslim neighbors? Well, that's a different story, because Islam is an ideologically and religiously isolating faith. For many Muslims, becoming a Christian is absolutely unthinkable. It goes against what they've been taught their entire lives. If they become an apostate, it means giving up their family, and it means risking being killed simply for converting to another religion. Even celebrating Christmas is a huge problem for Muslims. You can see this in the example of Mohamed Salah, who is one of the world's best soccer players. Even though he's played mostly in England, he's from Egypt and has served as the captain of Egypt's national team. He received massive criticism when a picture appeared of him celebrating Christmas with his family. For many Muslims, even wishing someone Merry Christmas is an unspeakable crime.
No Merry Christmas, not from a Muslim, not from a non-Muslim. It's not part of our deen, period. It's the concept that God was born on the 25th of December. That's as shirk and kufr as you can get. And you saying Merry Christmas, saying congratulations on your false religion, congratulations on your false understanding of life, you are congratulating them on the most evil of shirk and kufr. And as Ibn al-Qayyim said, this is worse than fornication and drinking alcohol and killing someone.
In this video, the lecturer says that wishing Merry Christmas to someone is congratulating them on the most evil of shirk and kufr. In Islam, shirk is the sin of saying that God has what are called divine associates. It basically means that you're saying that there's more than one God. So to say that Jesus is the divine Son of God means that you are committing the sin of shirk. Well, Muslims believe in the radical oneness of Allah. So to say that Jesus is divine is absolutely intolerable in Islamic theology. Shirk is the greatest sin a person can commit. Simply to say Merry Christmas, to somehow affirm the reality of the Christmas story, for many Muslims, is worse than murder. So you can see that to convert to Christianity means to commit the greatest, most unthinkable sin possible, a sin worthy of death. Muslim converts understand the plight suffered by first-century believers better than just about anyone on earth. Many of them know what it means to make changes so radical that even their own family would try to kill them. You only make this kind of change when you've decided that dedication to Christ is worth putting your life at risk. For many of us, being a Christian really isn't that tough. But for our Muslim friends who decide to submit to Jesus as their Lord and Savior, things get complicated very quickly. And so I'd like to ask you two things. First of all, please don't take your faith for granted. Secondly, I want you to join me in prayer for our Muslim friends that they would find the truth. Our neighbors deserve to hear the good news about the gospel of Christ. Because I can promise you, ex-Muslims can make great Christians.